This morning I opened a blank project. By the end of the session, I had this. 5 waves of enemies, a path they follow, towers that target, fire, and kill, and a win condition you have to earn. For a lot of solo devs, this is the hardest part of making a game. Not having the idea, not really making the art, but turning all of it into something that actually runs, something you can press play on. This video is about that step. We're not adding final art yet, we're building the bones, the map, the enemies, the towers, the game loop, everything working with placeholder sprites, so when the real art drops in, there's already a game waiting for it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to go from an empty project to a working prototype using Makko. No coding, just describing what you want and letting it build. Episodes 1 and 2 built the world and the art. This episode builds the game. Let's go. I want to be upfront about something before we start. I could have opened Makko and typed something like, make me a tower defense game, and it would have given me a solid place to start. A working foundation I could pull apart, change, and build on top of. That is a completely valid way to use it. But I already had a clear idea of what I wanted. I knew I needed multiple maps, and if I was going to build multiple maps, I needed an easy way to draw them. So I started with the map editor, not because it's the right place to start for a tower defense game, because it was the right place to start my tower defense game. There's no wrong place to start. Start where your idea makes sense. The first prompt I sent wasn't add enemies or add towers. It was give me a map editor. A 20 column by 12 row grid. 3 tile types, path, tower, and prop. Click to paint, click and drag to paint faster. And an export button that copies the map as JSON so the game always knows exactly what you built. I didn't ask Makko to just build it, I asked it if it had questions first. This way, it asked those questions before making assumptions and giving me the wrong result. It had 2. Should the placing show anything without enemies yet? And did I need save and load or just export? Those aren't small questions, they're the difference between building the right thing and building something you have to tear apart later. I answered both, it built the plan, and then it built the editor. From there it was a few small fixes, an eraser brush, getting the map editor and the placing to show the same layout, defaulting every cell to a tower tile so the grid is already placeable ground. You just draw the path on top of it. Then I drew the map, the convergence pass, the path the enemies will follow, the tower spots on either side, 2 markers, one for where the enemies spawn, and one for the anchor, the thing that they're trying to reach. Export, paste, save, done. Next prompt, the resonance system. That's the lives counter. Start at 10. When an enemy reaches the anchor, subtract 1. If you hit 0, game over. I told Makko I would add enemies separately. I didn't want to make an assumption about how spawning would work. Just build the system, wire up the display, give me a lost screen with a restart option. It did exactly that. Then I added dread. Plain dark square, spawns at the entrance, follows the path tile by tile. 2 tiles per second, 50 HP. When it reaches the anchor, resonance drops by 1 and it gets removed. I also told Makko to set up the placeholder in a way that makes it easy to swap in real character art later. That's a decision that matters. You want the architecture to support what's coming. Then the wave spawner. Wave 1, 5 dreads, 1.5 seconds apart. Each wave after that spawns in more and closes the gap. By wave 5 you got 16 dreads coming at you 0.7 seconds apart. 30 seconds between waves, or you can skip the timer and start the next one early. Clear all 5 waves and you win. At this point I had enemies, I had a map, I had a win condition and a loss condition. What I didn't have was anything stopping those enemies. Next prompt, Flamey. Plain orange square, range of 3 tiles. Fires every 1.5 seconds, 25 damage per shot, and here's the part that matters. I told Makko to account for bullet travel. Flamey doesn't aim where the dread is, it aims where the dread is going to be. So, every shot lands. This is something I learned from experience. If I didn't tell Makko to account for bullet travel, the bullets would not land all the time, leading to an unfair game where the enemies had an unintended advantage. Then the currency system. You start with 150 gold, Flamey costs 100, killing a dread earns you 25. Simple loop, but now there's a decision in every wave. Last step, the tower bar. I had one tower definition and an empty panel on the right side of the screen. I told Makko to wire them together. Click a tower in the bar, it highlights, click a valid tile on the map, it places. Run out of gold and the icon dims. Click it again to deselect. One prompt and the whole selection and placement flow was complete. Every prompt that I used to get here, start to finish, is on the Makko AI blog. Link in the description. 9 prompts, a map editor, a wave system, a currency system, a working win and loss condition, a game loop that runs, and one tower that can actually stop enemies. At the start of this video, I showed you this. At the time, you didn't know how it was built. Now, you do. And the thing I want you to sit with is this. Everything you just watched me build, none of it required me to know how any of it works under the hood. I just had to know what I wanted. That's the skill, not coding, knowing what you want clearly enough to describe it. Episode 1 built Flamey, Episode 2 built the world and Dread. This episode built the game Flamey and Dread will be fighting in. Next episode we're animating everything. Every state Flamey and Dread need to actually live inside this game. As mentioned, you can find all the prompts from this episode on the Makko AI blog. Link is in the description. And if you want to start your own game right now, Makko is free to try at makko.ai. I'll see you in episode 4.